So here is the base of the Compaq laptop, dismantled so that I could get to the power supply to check the power supply before powering it up. The motherboard, I fixed it back in place. No, I haven't. So here is a motherboard with a fan. The fan looks quite clean. And so here is the power supply. And I think I'd like to test the power supply voltages, and then maybe the power supply with the motherboard connected. And if that works, I can find a VGA to power it up. So let's test the power supply. Okay, first thing is I need to solder that little ground back on. So I'll get the soldering iron ready and do that. Now, can I get enough heat into the solder with this soldering iron? Fits in. There, nice and snugly, like that. There are two places there and there where it fits over the plastic locating pillars there. So you get some screws. This isn't the last time these screws will go back. All this needs a clean. Let's get this tested. And the earth cable can go back on to this earthing tab. Multimeter is ready. But will multimeter actually fit into any of these? I think it will. First, let me test that the system is grounded. Yeah, so that's 0.1 ohms. It's all grounded and the two pins there. Okay. Let me pull my power cable through a bit more. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. It's all good. Didn't blow up. Right, I think I want somewhere insulated for that to rest on. Something plastic like this. I wonder if it's held any voltage since I powered up. Look at that, it has. It's still got 15 volts on it. So I ran it briefly, we got the 15 volts, and I think it's time to put the motherboard on. and run it with load. You shouldn't run old PSUs without load apparently, so I won't try that again. I'll push this down into there, that might actually help. That's very tough. I think I'll do a couple of screws to make it nicely earthed. So I think maybe that screw. I'll plug the fan in. It'd be nice to see if that spins up. But this board may be useful because it's got LEDs on it. How does that fit in there? Let's see, maybe a screw there. Maybe that needs to earth, protected by the plastic insulator. Okay, there it goes. Nothing much so far. So one button has 3.9 volts on it. Interesting. These ICs have any voltage on them? Apparently not. Had I really plugged it in properly? Ooh. Right. I don't think I'd plugged it in right. Or maybe I need more connectors plugged in. Let me reset. So where is the power light? It's down here. It's on the case. I think it's time to plug a monitor in. Right, I've set up a monitor here. So let me turn the monitor on. A bit Teeth Robinson, but this is an old monitor with VGA. And it's quite rightly saying check video cable. So I plug that in. Will it sense an input? Am I going to get any signal at all? Oh my goodness. Can you see that? 65 meg. 162 system options not set. Where am I going to plug a keyboard in? Because it's a USB keyboard. I don't think it's going to accept this keyboard. F1. Save changes, F2, ignore. Now I think a Raspberry Pi keyboard at this stage is just too optimistic. So let me get the real keyboard. Here is the real keyboard. So I think I should turn off. It doesn't seem to turn off. I thought that was the power button. keyboard is in very good condition. I can't believe it's not been replaced. Is there a date stamp on it? I don't know. I can't make one out. The keyboard, I think, plugs in this way. So plug in again. I saw an LED come on. Does it start up by itself? I think it does. Time of date's not set. System options not set. To F2, ignore changes. Non-system disks. So I wonder what the BIOS setting is. Is it F2? So I need to look up Compaq. Compaq F10 key. Oh, really got me a long time to guess that. F10. Didn't look like it. According to the service manual for the Compaq Armada 1700, you press F10, but it says if the hard disk has been replaced at some point, then the service menu won't exist anymore, and it won't matter how many times you press it. Not to worry, as you can create a floppy disk to boot by downloading from the Compaq website. So I need to get that file and download the floppy disk file. I think first I should open this up and clean this before I put one of my floppy disks in it. Screws. What the noise is it just sort of people spilt coffee? Okay. Right, I'm not sure how far that has got us. It is coming out. So here is the floppy disk itself. It does look like the lid just pops off. Hey, that's easy. Where can I leave her? Wow, look at that. Okay, I hope this colour isn't too lavish. Let's make sure that's dried. The lid back on. Case. Right, so I think that's fine to use as a floppy. So if I plug it in now, will it seek from the floppy? I wonder if I can get any response. Yes, I think that is the floppy light from Save Changes. Got floppy drive seek and no system disk. Compaq 1750 floppy disk. So I have another machine, and I shall do that. So I've got my floppy, which seems to have been made and completed by the software. Now, what is the probability that this will work? Let's just try it. So I have tried this disk in this caddy before. Striking key wheel ready when ready. Okay, seems to be reading something. It's interesting. I just saw the fan stop. Oh my goodness! Starting MS-DOS. Loading setup diskette. Wow, look at that. Install computer setup, exit this utility. So run computer setup. Oh my goodness, exciting. So I think I'll exit this. Save changes and exit computer. Yeah, let's do that. Install computer setup. Diagonal does not exist. Of course, there's no hard drive in this machine, so that is probably why that is being rejected. Exit this utility. So this is the CD-ROM. And it does look in very good condition. We've got September 1999, so I'm guessing that's dating it, unless of course the drive was replaced. Only minor scratches where it's been in and out, that could have been me. So I think all I'll do is to clean the lens. I think that is all that is required. So, CD-ROM fits into here. Hopefully it will stay securely. There we go, that's good. So let's put the keyboard back, put the power back in. Aha, I think that is the CD-ROM LED. And will it eject? It will. So I have a Windows 2000 CD. Let's see how it deals with the laptop having no hard drive. So we're back at this stage because I removed the power and we know that the real-time battery is disconnected. So let me save changes. So we've got floppy seek. Now we've got our CD-ROM activity and it's spinning up. boot partition to check signature. Setup is inspecting. Wow, look at that. We have a working CD-ROM drive. To set up Windows 2000 now, press enter. Setup did not find any hard disk drives. It's fine, you figured it out. Try power down, probably connect it. To quit, press F3. Your computer reboot. Okay, so that is it. On press we have working CD-ROM. So I think time to go ahead. Complete the disassembly and cleaning of this lower section, and that can all be screwed back into place. And I need to work on the hard drive, which needs a caddy. So that's going to need more investigation, but it's probably worth trying to get that caddy or a way of connecting a hard drive now that I know we've got a working system. So with the base all tested now, I'm just going to rip it back down and clean all the parts, clean the base, build it up, and then can start work on the top part. These front pieces have got the melted plastic, so I think they're staying in. I don't want to remelt those, don't want to mess with those. That would have rusted. Oh, it has. Now, is it worth removing the heatsink to check the heatsink compound underneath? I think it is. So looking at this, there's 3 screws holding this compound in. There's no dust in this, it's amazing. Now these are different screws to the ones that hold most of the case, so I'm going to be careful where to keep them. And then those screws, and then the 2 that face downwards. Are these loosening it off? They don't seem to be. Are these captive screws? No, they're not. It is not budging. I'm not sure I want to make it budge. Oh my goodness, what an extraordinary socket. And do these standoffs come away? I think I'll give this a small clean. How can I clean these holes? Maybe one of these. angry motorist going by. Did you hear that? It's supposed to be a 20 mph zone. Right, let me just blast out some any dirt. Might be lingering in that heatsink. I think this pad isn't conductive, it's just to insulate electrically. So these screws, they seem to be nicely located, so I think the socket has located in the correct position. And I'll find out when I get to retest it later on. And one of the easiest jobs, cleaning the fan. There's no dirt in it, that's amazing. How can there be no dirt in it? There is some corrosion. I think there has been a small liquid spill in this laptop at some stage. So I'm going to go ahead and dismantle the top side of the Compaq, because I think it's the only way to get it clean. This is always a risky thing to do, but I think it would have a better outcome. So let's see how it goes. At the bottom there's arrows pointing towards the screws, so let's start with those screws. They have not been out for a long while. That screw was quite loose. Aha. Right, I see. So this bezel must pop up too. Put some dent protection on. Right, that's good news. It's nice to get these off, they need a wash. So more shiny parts as well as there. And these are not gripping too tight. Let's undo the inner one there first. Okay, that's freed up for washing. Set that to one side. So does this screen come apart? I'm not sure it's worth it. I think plastic is inevitably going to crack. So I think I can probably clean this as it is. I haven't tested these, but this does mean I can put the laptop largely back together except for the screen. So returning to this, can I remove the final electrical components, which is the touchpad. Star driver set is here. There we go. Look at that. Buttons themselves are very quiet. Be nice to give that a clean. It's come up reasonably well. Some scratches on it, but it's very difficult to know what to do with the plastic scratches, but these have cleaned up. Spent a lot of time getting this area nice and clean, cleaning out the holes. I have the photo, so I can get all the parts in the right position. I shall try and remember the best order. I think start with the speakers and get the cable wiring in the same position. I'll start with the speaker foams because I can see the tape marks. So let's put the tape on first where I can see where it was. Push the bottom end of the bar. Speakers on. I didn't dismantle the speakers, it was plastic clips and I thought these would break, but I'm sure they're fine. In here. Front, these screws go in later. Next part. It will go through there. Touchpad goes under. I think that fits under there like that. Goes down. Cable goes up, down into there. So this fits on with the 4 tiny screws, 2 tiny screws at the back. So that those flanges must slide under there. And there's some locating pins there and there. And the 4 tiny screws, here they are. So the 4 tiny screws holding this plate on. 2 at the bottom go on first. Tighten those in a minute. And then the 2 side plates. So how do they go on? seem to drop in place, not really sure what holds them on. Maybe they just give the whole front area strength for palm resting. Put the tape back on, it's still very sticky, so I'm going to use the same bit of tape. Same bracket on the other side. Time to build up the base of the Compaq Armada. Right, here's the pot of small items. I've got the photographs. There's the fan. I definitely want to lose that. I've got some pliers, and these will be useful for the first item, which is the little locking clip. Not sure how much stronger that would really make it. And the main metal item. Before I forget, I think this door needs to go on. Maybe I should have put it in before the metal. So this was broken. Well, maybe it wasn't broken, maybe it was just fallen off. So we got one PCM CIA door. And then the top one had kind of fallen off. There's a bit that sticks out, that can't be right. Oh, there we go. Wow, it's in. Do very nicely. I need to tip out. I need to tip out some of the screws, and some of these screws have got a bit of sort of corrosion dirt on the head, so I should use those for the internal screws. So let me use them up on the power supply. So that doesn't look very tight. It looks like it should have a washer on, but I don't remember. There's no washer in the picture. Two screws hold the socket in, so I can use nice screws here. I remember these screws had some corrosion in, they probably got some liquid damage from the outside. So now I can fit the nice screws. Well, I say I can fit the nice screws. not going in very well. That screw is not in right. There we go. Why is that so difficult to go in? And the power supply fitted. I'm going to do one more clean of this under here. Okay, same screws back in. Screw here. Or is there a screw? Does this go in first? It does. And screw in on top of that. No screw there as yet. The fan. Something is missing down there. I literally have no parts that fit there. How strange. What fits there is a tab on the case lid, so that's fine. That goes at the end. Okay, this top board with the buttons and the LEDs. I see this bit of insulation is purely just to stop this board shorting. So most of these screws go in through this. Are there any screws that don't? That's a bit ugly. Does that go in behind there? Which way does that go in? I think it goes in behind, which would seem a bit ugly, but that's probably what it does. There we go. So I'm going to put a couple of screws in just to make sure that the earthing is all working. Probably this one in the middle. And I think I can put these two docking station posts in. I've got the connecting cables loose. So does this literally just drop in on the top? So where are all the screws that hold the case together? There don't seem to be any in the top that actually go through. So maybe these go in here. And the microphone. those cables below there, make sure they're routed fine, as they are. And of course the trackpad. Bit of worn out tape, didn't like that. Put that back. So let me plug in the keyboard. It seems flimsy, but it's probably very strong. I heard the speakers pip, I'm sure I did. That's good news. Yes, look at that. That's pretty good. It works on all corners. Well, pleased with that. Run computer setup. Yes, the button works. Tested the keyboard, the trackpad. LED's working, LED's working. Don't know how to test the speakers or the microphone. Next stage, the screen. So here is the screen. I'll arrange the lighting. I haven't taken this apart, but it looks in fairly good condition. So after a clean, it's okay. There's scratches which probably come from someone putting in and out a bag. So it's been a well used laptop. That might mean the screen has got hours on it. I think the screws are these 4 silver ones. And on this side it has to go underneath the little latch. Let me get the correct screwdriver ready and prepped. In fact, either of these will do. I'll pop that over the top. These screws have actually got a locking compound on them. So if I can get one each side in. If the screen doesn't work, there's a cheaper Armada on eBay, but I think it's a lower model, so I think this one had a higher resolution screen. Okay, I'm going to put more screws in because I'm quite fearful about the plastics breaking, so make sure all the strength is in the screws that is required. That goes through there. And probably useful having this thing properly attached. Oh my goodness, how did they do this at the factory? Two tiny little connectors. Okay, that one's in. Right, big moment. Power. see the screen. Look at that. Wonderful. I can hear it making a strange noise, so I think the brightness is struggling. Maybe this is a very high hours screen, so there's an area of darkness, but maybe I should just let it warm up a bit. Maybe it'll get better. Let's leave it at 3/4 brightness. So run computer setup. I've got the hinge caps. I'm convinced they're going to fit very well. Maybe I'm wrong. And with the microphone there. There's a hole there. Don't know what that hole's for. A couple of screws at the back for the hinges. These were the original ones. What condition these are? Oh, these are fine. So how does it close? Very nicely. It'd be a nice experiment to try that out, but without an OS it probably doesn't do very much. So it does have another nice cover there. I see, it just works like that, does it? And a couple more screws. One there, so let's put that one in. Okay, that's obviously the locking screw for the copy drive. I'm going to put that in. That is quite useful. Does that go through there? It does. Unfortunately, I haven't got the network card. It's probably not obtainable now. It's got quite warm. I hope I plugged the fan in okay. So that can go in the middle. Yeah, that's strange. It's centre mounted. And then this is the cover for the hard drive caddy. Unfortunately, it's not the hard drive caddy itself. There's the locking screw. That's interesting. Haven't got that. That goes in there. I think I'm happy to put this in because it only goes on top of where the battery would go. I think that's going to be fine. I think it's nice to have that in, it's so easy to change. January 22nd. So is it month, day? Is it the US format? Should be. It is. No, that's the month. So it's 22nd. That seems to be able to type that. Okay. It's remembered it. Okay. So here is the Compaq Armada 1750, all built up. And all working, but of course I had that problem that the hard drive caddy had been removed, and I think like a lot of corporate machines, and I know this was a corporate machine because we have a label here, property of, I've searched for this name, I think it's a company long gone. But of course what they did when they took the hard drive out, quite correctly, to protect the data, they took the caddy with them, and it leaves this connector, which actually turns out to be very similar to a compact flash card connector, but it's certainly not the same pinout. It is effectively IDE with extra spacing. So maybe in another video I'll look into that, but while I was doing that work to find out a way of fitting a hard drive, this other machine has arrived on eBay. Now this was £20, so maybe 25 US dollars, and it was listed as not working. And unlike my other one, this is a 1700, which is very similar but a slightly lower down model. Notably, it hasn't got the connector here, but it was listed as being complete. So I bought it, and inside were the hard drive and caddy components. So here is the caddy, there is the connector, inside is the PCB, and then that is the standard 44 pin laptop connector, which is like the IDE 40 pin with power at the end, I think. And it came with this hard drive. This hard drive fits in, screws in like that, and then the caddy fits in there. Now, I have checked this hard drive and it's not showing as any partitions, although it does show as connected and working, but also it makes this noise. And it's not just the screws, it makes that noise anyway. So I'm not sure if that is working. So that leaves me with the caddy. And also what's very interesting is the cover on this machine. Caddy cover looks like that. It was on my 1750. Strangely, it looks like that with lots of foam in. And if I fit that, it kind of seems to squash it. And yet there's very little imprint. So maybe the caddy was different. What I've done is I've purchased one of these small devices and a 32 gig SD card. So this is a SanDisk 32 gig Ultra. This connector doesn't have the blocked pin, so I have to be super careful to plug this in the right way, but I know that it faces this way. So back to the Armada 1750. Caddy now drops in like that, pushes in nice and firmly. Of these two lids, I'm going to use this one. So drop that in. And now I've got to remove the slippery magazine. I've downloaded the original Compaq Recovery CD, which is available, so thank you very much to the uploader of that. And maybe I'll make another video, because this is quite long, about using that card reader. Machine connected to mains power again, so here's the boot up. This is booting up from the 32 gig SD card. So I've added in 128 meg of RAM, little stick, so that adds to the 64 meg internal, so now I've got 196 meg of RAM. Now the screen is a little bit dim, so I've moved the lighting back. The brightness seems to go up halfway and doesn't go up any higher, so maybe the screen's the backlight's a bit tired, but it looks super even to me. It does look very nice indeed. So I've set this up. Let me look at some properties. So screen properties, adjustment. So this is saying 1024 by 768 screen, LCD panel. Now there's a TV format, which I think is the PAL output. So I think another, or in this case NTSC. Do we have PAL? So I think that'll be one for the next video on this machine. And of course solitaire. Oh look, I've got an ace. Let me have a look. Put the queen there, and the 9. The 8s can go on there. I wonder if that king will turn up again. No, I think that's it for this game. What I also do have is some Quake. Let's go for some Quake. Quake SW. Win Quake. It's worked earlier. Will it work now? Options. And I'm going to try highest resolution. Let me see how it copes with that. Ooh, started a bit. Okay now. T to test for 5 seconds. Right, let's go for that. So screen brightness, I've put the screen brightness all the way up. There we go. Single player. New game. And it's control, I think. Yeah. Right, here we go. No idea what I'm doing. I've been shot. End of game. And it even makes it back to Windows 95.